Hi, this is Dave Birkett, Lions beat writer for the Oakland Press, back with a post-Matt Millen edition of Lions Lowdown here on the oaklandpress.com. Everybody knows by now that Matt Millen was fired by William Clay Ford as Lions president, and if anybody saw the celebration after the announcement became official, you'd know it was a glorious day in Detroit. Fans driving around campus down here in Allen Park, around the practice facility, celebrating, honking their horns, waving flags, and holding signs proclaiming their liberation from 8 years of mediocrity. Matt wasn't the only problem. I think that needs to be said first and foremost. Obviously the organization has won one playoff game in 51 years, so he doesn't deserve all the blame for this. Obviously, he played a hand and had a big part in bringing the coaches and players on board for his 7+ seasons, of which he never had a winning record. So that's not to absolve him of any blame, but just be warned that the organization needs a little more cleansing before it really can move forward. And I think that's the stage that we're in right now. Tom Lawanda's kind of running the day-to-day operations of things. Martin Mayhew is in charge of the football side of business, and business is kind of going on as usual for these next 3 months. The Lions 0-3 right now, of course, and need a win to kind of salvage this season or have any hope of at least having a respectable record up here in the final 3 months. But really, what's going to happen with the GM search is it's going to start very slowly. The Lions are going to do their due diligence. They may look outside and ask the league for some help in putting together a list of candidates. I don't think you're not going to see a hiring until after the season. Most of the quality candidates have jobs right now. We'll go over those in a minute. But on the field, the big question is what's going to happen with Rod Marinelli, his staff, and the players that are here. Obviously, there are a lot of Marinelli guys that Millen liked. Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought him here. And I really do think these last 13 games are going to tell a lot. I think chances are a new general manager is going to come in and want to bring in his own guy, his own coach, his own scouts, everything. But Rod and his staff have a chance to salvage their job with a strong showing here. I talked to a member of the staff yesterday, and they said in some ways it gives them a clean slate. Kind of the cloud has been lifted over their head, and maybe they'll be able to be judged for themselves and the job that they do on the field over these final 13 weeks. And the same goes for the players. They're a lot of them are looked at as Millen guys and Millen finds, and people don't think too highly of them. But if they can go out and perform over the next 3 months, and they want to, because they very well could be out of a job in this NFL. You're here today, gone tomorrow. Salaries aren't guaranteed. So they really need to go out and perform and get a win against Chicago, and maybe that can kind of righten things. The one thing I do think we're going to see, maybe not this first week after the bye coming up, but eventually is an influx of the young talent playing. I would assume that John Kitna will still be the quarterback against the Bears, just because Stanton hasn't thrown a pass in practice in more than a month because of the sprained thumb that he had. I think you will start seeing some more of those young defensive linemen play up front. Cliff Averill, Andre Fluellen, Landon Cohen, all draft picks, all were inactive last week against the 49ers. There's really no point in playing the Sean Codys and the Langston Moores anymore. It's kind of a divergence. I mean, Rod and his staff are trying to win, and in some level, those vets are going to give them the best chance, keeping Kitna at quarterback, playing some of those old guys. But especially on the defensive line, they haven't been getting a pass rush. They're going to start blitzing, doing a few more things, and you want guys out there with fire. So I think you're going to see a lot of those young guys play. Starting this week against the Bears, Jordan Dizon too at middle linebacker. He should be getting more and more time as the season progresses. Going forward, the Lions, it's really too early to even say a short list of candidates that they have to replace Matt Millen, but I'll just throw a couple names out there at you. Kevin Colbert, he's a former Lions executive with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, helped put their Super Bowl championship team together. Obviously has some ties here. That's a name you'll hear prominently mentioned. Floyd Reese, that's another guy formerly of the Titans. He has some ties to the Lions organization way back too. He's with ESPN right now, and it's a little bit different. It's not going into the TV booth to hire another Matt Millen because of Floyd's experience. But that's a guy that you'll hear prominently mentioned, and in fact, it sounds like he's a guy that's already shown some interest in the job. Tom Heckert, that's another guy with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's a Michigan native, played at Hillsdale. He's from Adrian. He's the general manager over there, but Andy Reid, really wields most of the power over there. And Heckert was a candidate for the Falcons job last year, so that's a name that should be mentioned prominently. And then, lastly, Reggie McKenzie of the Green Bay Packers. He's a guy that's been around for a long time. He's in an organization that's had a lot of success. 15 years, I think, with Green Bay. He just got promoted last year, but that's another guy that he doesn't have ultimate power in his position right now. And I think that's a guy that should be on the Lions short list when all is said and done and the interviews actually start taking place probably after the season. That's all for this edition of Lions Lowdown. Again, I'm Dave Birkett, Lions beat writer for the Oakland Press, and we'll be back next week to recap in the Bears game.